Hi, my name is Govindh Jayaraman, and this is Paper Napkin Wisdom, episode 336, and another in our Edge of the Napkin series. Today, we're going to pick up on a subject we've been talking about for the last few episodes. In episode 330, we talked about our magnetic growth auras, and we introduced the four pillars: confidence, congruence, calm, and contribution. The last two episodes, we've been talking about confidence and congruence, and today we're going to talk about pillar three, calm. So, as we go into this, there are moments, maybe you've noticed them, when the room feels tense before anyone even says a word. And there are other moments, quieter ones probably, where someone simply arriving seems to change everything for the positive. You may not be able to explain it, but you can feel it. You can sense it. And as you listen now, you might begin to recognize how often leadership is less about what is said and more about what is held and felt. Because somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that leadership requires urgency, answers, motion, and certainty. And yet, some of the most trusted leaders you've known have likely had something else entirely in their presence: a steadiness, a way of slowing the moment down just enough for clarity and confidence and congruence and contribution to emerge. And as you settle into this episode, you may begin to wonder what would shift in your leadership, in your conversations, in the way others respond to you if calm itself were not something you waited for, but something you carried with you. In this Edge of the Napkin, we will explore Aura Pillar 3, calm, not as passivity, not as detachment, not as any of those other distractions, but as containment, the ability to hold space, the capacity to wait without withdrawing, the kind of inner coherence that others can feel and often unconsciously trust from afar. And you don't need to try to apply this as you listen. You can simply notice what happens when your attention rests there. Because calm has a way of teaching itself, not through effort, but through experience. So, as we begin, allow yourself to listen not just for insight, but for resonance. Let's listen in. Most people misunderstand calm. They think of calm as soft, passive, slow, even disconnected completely from everything around it. They think calm means that you don't care enough or you're not even paying enough attention. Maybe you're not even present. But in leadership and in life, calm is not the absence of intensity. Calm is the capacity to hold intensity without collapsing, without reacting, without leaking it onto others and spilling it all over the place. Calm is not what happens after the storm. Calm is what allows you to stand inside the storm and not become it or let it become you. And here's the truth that most leaders don't want to hear. If your presence doesn't settle the room, then you're not leading. You're just participating. Calm is not a personality trait. It's not temperament, and it's not something you're born with or without. Calm is trained, and it's an internal environment. And in the aura framework, calm is the pillar that creates containment, not control, but containment. Because leadership is not about having the loudest energy in the room. It's about having the strongest container. So, containment is one of the most misunderstood and important capacities in leadership. Containment means that you can hold emotion without needing to discharge it, without needing to fire it off in someone's direction. You can sit in uncertainty, in chaos, without rushing to certainty or solving. You can receive pressure without transmitting panic or disarray or blame. Most teams don't need answers first. They need someone whose nervous system isn't hijacked. When a leader lacks calm, three things immediately happen. Number one, the room speeds up unnecessarily. People want to get through it. It's just as fast as they can. Number two, people start managing the leader instead of focusing on the work. Three, decision quality drops like a stone, even if intelligence stays high. Smart people make bad choices to end the cycle. Calm creates psychological gravity and safety. People lean toward it. They trust it. They regulate with it and against it. And that's why calm leaders are often described as steady, grounded, someone I'd follow into chaos or out of chaos, not because they know more, but because their inner environment doesn't spike when the stakes rise. So, holding space through calm is not a technique. It's a physiological reality. It's in your body. When someone brings you fear, anger, confusion, emotion, chaos, uncertainty, they are not asking you to fix it immediately. They're asking, often very unconsciously, can your nervous system, can you tolerate this without making it worse? Calm is what allows you to say, without words, I can be with this, I can be with you, and you don't have to protect me from this. Leaders who cannot hold space interrupt too early, problem solve too fast, reframe without being present first, and use logic to escape discomfort. Leaders with calm listen longer than even feels efficient. They pause without apologizing. They let emotion complete its cycle, its full cycle. They allow clarity to emerge. They don't force clarity. Calm is what lets people finish their own thoughts, finish their own loop, and that leads to the second containment capacity. Calm is the ability to wait. Most leadership mistakes are not errors of judgment, they're errors of timing, sped right to the finish line. Calm gives you the ability to wait before responding, before rescuing, before correcting, before asserting your authority and ego. When a leader cannot wait, the team never learns to respond. They learn to look up to them instead of inward. They seek permission instead of ownership, and they optimize for approval or avoidance instead of truth. Calm says, I trust the process and my people enough not to interrupt it. And this is not disengagement. It's confidence in emergence. It's confidence in people, which brings us to how calm interacts with the other three pillars. Calm definitely doesn't stand alone. It is the environmental condition that allows the other pillars to function at their highest and best level. And let's walk through them. So, calm plus confidence. Confidence answers, do I believe in me? Calm answers, can I stay with myself when belief is tested? You can have confidence without calm, and it often looks like bravado, like ego, but and arrogance. But confidence with calm looks like quiet certainty. Calm prevents confidence from being reactive. It keeps confidence unforced, unperformative, and unneedy. When confidence is paired with calm, you don't have to rush to prove. You don't defend your position emotionally. You don't confuse volume with authority. People feel that difference immediately. Calm plus congruence. Well, congruence answers the questions, do my words and actions match under pressure? Calm is what makes congruence possible under stress. So without calm, values collapse under urgency, integrity erodes or just disappears under pressure, alignment breaks when the stakes rise. Calm allows you to respond instead of react, choose instead of default, and stay in alignment when it would be easier not to. Congruence without calm only works when things are easy. Congruence with calm works when things matter. Calm plus contribution. Well, contribution answers the question, am I here for more than just myself? Calm creates energetic availability. When you are not internally noisy, you notice others more. You sense what's needed, and you give without depletion. And calm is what allows you and allows your contribution to be sustainable in the long term. Without calm, giving becomes draining. Service becomes sacrifice, and impact becomes performative. Calm allows you to contribute from overflow, not from obligation. So there's a great story about the bridge builder, and there was once a village divided by a deep ravine. One side lived the planners, and the other side there lived the builders. For years, they argued about how to connect the two sides. The planners had designs, the builders had tools. Neither really trusted the other. One day, a quiet woman arrived. She carried no plans and brought no tools. She simply sat at the edge of the ravine. When asked what she was doing, she said, "I'm watching how the ground holds weight." The planners mocked her. The builders ignored her. Weeks passed. One day, the ground shifted. A narrow stone revealed itself, stable, strong, and previously unseen. She stood and said, "Now." The planners aligned, the builders acted, and the bridge was built in days. When asked how she knew when to speak, she replied, "I didn't create the bridge. I held still long enough for it to show itself." So confidence had ideas, congruence had aligned action, contribution built the bridge, but calm created the conditions for all of it. So let's talk about coherence and heart math, because calm at the deeper level is not just psychological, it's physiological. Research from the Heart Math Institute shows that when we are calm, the heart and brain enter a state called coherence. In coherence, the heart rhythm becomes smooth and structured, ordered. The brain function improves dramatically. Emotional regulation stabilizes and decision making sharpens. But here's the most important part: coherence is actually felt by others, in many cases from far away. Your heart produces an electromagnetic field that can actually be measured and extends beyond your body. When you are calm and coherent, others unconsciously entrain to you. They they cue in on your energy and lock in on it like a signal. The room settles without instruction, just with your presence. Conversations slow and deepen, and trust increases. And that is why calm leaders feel safe to be around. Calm coaches create breakthroughs way faster, and calm parents regulate children more effectively. You don't need to tell people to relax. Your physiology actually teaches them how. They mirror it. Calm is contagious in the absolute best way. Energy is always transmitting, and the question isn't if you are influencing, it's how. When you are anxious, others become vigilant. They sense something is off. Thinking narrows and creativity just drops right through the floor. When you're calm, systems relax. Options expand, truth surfaces, and calm is not neutral, it's directive. It directs the emotional weather of the room, and coherence is what makes calm trustworthy. So people may not know why to trust you, they just feel that things make more sense when you are present. Here's another story that might help illustrate this. In a mountain village, each home had its own fire. During the winter, storms would rage and many fires would go out. The villagers panicked each time. They ran, they shouted, they knocked over embers, trying to stave warmth, preserve heat. One elder did something completely different. When the storm came, he sat by his fire. He adjusted nothing. He guarded the flame with his body, and after the storm, the villagers came to relight their fires from his. When he asked why his never went out, he said, I didn't fight the storm, I tend the flame. Confidence lights the fire. Congruence keeps it honest, and contribution shares it. But calm protects it when the wind rises. Aura, your magnetic growth aura, is not charisma. It's not personality. It's not magnetism for its own sake, for your ego, for your arrogance, for your identity. Aura is the sum of what people experience in your presence, and calm is the stabilizing field. Without calm, confidence feels sharp, congruence feels rigid, and contribution feels heavy. With calm, confidence feels grounded. Congruence feels reliable, and contribution feels generous. Calm is what allows people to relax into their best selves around you. And that may be the highest form of leadership, helping others to become who they really are. Calm doesn't require incense or silence retreats or meditation. It requires practice under pressure. It requires a few embodied anchors. Slow your exhale before responding. Just slow your breath down. Drop your shoulders when the stakes rise. Don't clench up. Relax. Let one full breath pass before speaking. Just in and out. Notice your urgency without obeying it. Calm is built by interrupting your reflex. And over time, calm can become your default state, not because life is easy, but because you are stable and you have practiced it. The world doesn't need more loud leaders, more people shouting and pontificating from the tops of their boxes. It needs contained ones, leaders who can hold space, wait wisely, stay coherent under pressure, regulate environments without force. Calm is not retreat. Calm is readiness without reactivity. And when calm stands alongside congruence, confidence, and contribution, your presence doesn't just move people, it steadies them. And that is your magnetic growth aura. That is leadership. And that is pillar 3, calm. Make it a great day.